I thought long and hard about this speech. I wasn't sure if you would want my honesty, or if you would want me to tell you what I think you want to hear. I wondered if I should give you an airbrushed view of activism, an avatar of heroic sacrifice. People expect their activists to be a certain way. I feel the responsibility to present as if I'm winning, or at least hopeful of victory, even when all hope is lost. Because people expect leadership, encouragement, and resilience. But the truth is messier than that. The truth is uglier than that. But it is also more beautiful, precisely because it is true. So here's the truth. There is more than a generation of Hong Kongers who are suffering from excruciating trauma. The trauma of losing their home, friends, family, roots, and identity. Activists aren't immune from it. Far from it. We aren't invincible. Speaking personally, the past year has been a profoundly dark period for me, beset by shadows and the torment of my own thoughts. I have lost many of my friends. I stand before you feeling completely powerless as my city goes into a black box, together with the silent screams of my loved ones. Independent media platforms like Apple Daily and Stan News are being cracked down upon. Journalists are being banned from reporting court trials, and many friends have been behind bars for more than a year now. I don't know if I'll ever set foot in my home again. Ever sit on a high-rise roof staring for hours at our unique cityscape. Ever fight through humidity so thick the world seems to slow down. Ever sip bubble tea chatting with friends about backs and boys. I feel like I have been deprived by Beijing of my identity as a Hong Konger. I no longer belong to my city, and there is nothing out there for me. Sometimes I would have nightmares about these things and wake up to a pillow wet with tears. Many fellow activists have endured much greater losses. Some have lost families. Some protesters made the ultimate sacrifice. All of us have lost our freedom of speech, freedom of conscience, and freedom of expression. I was told we are brave, we are honorable, and we are noble. We are portrayed as some mystical creatures, like unicorns, who fear nothing. Not the loss of friends or loved ones, nor the jackboot of a stormtrooper. This image is reinforced by well-meaning parliaments and organizations who are trying to help. But not everyone could understand what it cost us to relive our ongoing trauma. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is feeling fear, but still deciding to do the right thing. We all have that courage embedded within us. But it comes at a cost. It is a sacrifice. And for the entire community of Hong Kongers, it is an ongoing sacrifice. So here is what I came here to say. Our sacrifice isn't just for us. It is for you. We don't fight just for our home. We fight a way of life that you share. Our loss is also your loss. The fall of Hong Kong represents the expansion of an authoritarian regime. And if you think the border of that state will stop at Hong Kong Island, I invite you to think again. We give it all so that you would wake up to the threat posed by a brutal, expansionist, and highly strategic regime. We give it all in the hope that if we go down fighting, at least it will help the world to reform its approach against the Chinese Communist Party. I'm sorry to say that the international community has not honored our sacrifices. While our youth languish in prison cells, the international community refused to move beyond empty hand wringing. The United Kingdom, for example, made promises to defend our autonomy and our way of life. These promises were sealed in an international treaty lodged at the UN, the Sino-British Declaration. China has completely torn up that treaty, and the UK hasn't even registered an objection to it. They haven't done anything whatsoever to try to hold China to account at their country's watch, as Beijing continue to crack down on us. They failed us and continue to fail us. We deserve better than that. You deserve better than that. And if everyone does a little more, we would be living in a much better place. Although this is not the cultural disposition for Hong Kongers, we are slowly learning to be angry about it. Those of us who managed to get out are scattered all over the world, and our movement is entering a new phase. It would make sense for me to put before you a call to action, say, support the diaspora more, provide us with resources. While that is actually needed, there is something that's needed even more. That is for you to stand up for what you believe in. And that means holding China to account for what he has done to my city, and by extension, your way of life. We are here to demand more. We are here to demand that promises made to us are honored, and that Xi Jinping is being held to account for what he has done to Hong Kong. And if you think we're going to give up because of the current situation in Hong Kong, you underestimate our resilience. As I face into my future, I would love to ask you to see us as we are. Not unicorns, not special, not invincible, just people picking up the burden of activism and trying so bear with it. Day in, day out. Honor the sacrifice Hong Kong has made for you, and press your governments to stand with those who held an umbrella into a wind of tear gas to defend our common values. We aren't going away. Please stand with us.